Girl, you got some tea?
Girl, with the honey and the sugar.
Nah, we gonna need some wine for this one.
Well, wine me, please.
Welcome back to the Wine Me Please podcast. So, y'all, as we wrap up season 4, it's been a wild ride. I had fun. I hope y'all enjoyed our new co-host, Candy. Y'all got to know who she is and what it was.
I'm joking. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope so,
because if y'all didn't, then we can't bring her back next season.
I know, I'm still going to probably come back anyway.
No, I'm just kidding. She's coming back.
I'm coming back. I'm one of those. Relentless.
Like, regardless, she's coming back.
I'm coming. You love me here.
Of course. But y'all know, we got to talk about the wine of the show, the wine of the episode. Today's wine is the Chianti. Okay, it's from Italy.
I want to go. Let's go. We should go.
Fancy. We should go to Italy. I don't know, but remember the last time? How far is Italy from London? Because I told you I was having them drinks. I was getting locked up.
You can catch pretty much a train to everything.
Okay, we ain't going to London. We can
just stay away. Okay, I'm just stay away. But I
gotta make it back. I gotta make it back. Okay. So this wine is 12.5% alcohol, y'all. It is so here we go with another. I think red. Yes, it is a medium-bodied wine with notes of red berries and violets, and it pairs well with red meats and pasta. So for y'all steak lovers, you might like this one. And it also said that it is best served room temperature. So that's why it's not cold, because I follow directions. So we'll be the judge of that. Okay. And to go along with it, y'all, I made bruschetta fresh. I'm next level with this at this point.
You are. Ma'am, your presentation is amazing.
Give me my props. Look, it's just so lovely.
Doesn't it look refreshing? Ooh, almost lost. I almost did a party foul. Okay.
Don't lose your food now. Don't lose your food. So let's get into this. So y'all, I already had the thing already ready
this time. You know,
I already had it ready. And I love me a good red wine. I like whites too, but I think red is my favorite. But I'm also a variety chick, so I don't discriminate. So let's see. Cheers. Let's see, let's smell this. Swirl.
Smells fruity.
It does.
Not bad.
It's not, for it to be room temperature, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Because sometimes room temperature wine,
it's not sweet.
It's weird.
But it's not bitter. It's not overly dry. I think it has nice body, nice balance.
Yeah, I like it.
I do.
I like. Let's try one of our bruschettas. Don't be talking about us crunching on this.
Why are you judging me?
And it.
You have somebody say don't judge and then judge you immediately afterwards. That's just what happened. The way she looked at me was all judgment. It was like, why you eat it like that? Like, what I do?
How did you like it? Was it good?
I like that the tomatoes kind of like softened up the crunch a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, we getting older now,
And it was fresh. It wasn't too overpowering. It has basil in it. It has
I didn't feel guilt after that. Like, you know how you feel guilt after carbs? That didn't feel guilty.
Good. I love that for you. I love that, y'all. So, if y'all need the recipe to that, I'll drop it in the comments, okay? Ain't nothing too special, Okay, so as we wrap up season 4, we did that.
We've been working. We
did
that.
Shout
out to
Show behind the camera.
Shout out to Show.
Shout out to him.
I know, right?
What do you feel like was your favorite part of the season?
Favorite part of the season. Honestly, I feel like we had so many laughs. It's hard to pick out one. I don't know. Like, honestly, you trying us pronouncing the titles to these wine. We on Google. We was on Google. What's translate.
Gruyere cheese.
Like, say that. How do you say Gruyere cheese?
Gruyere cheese.
No, it's like Gruyere.
That was the best one.
Yes. So I think, honestly, just like learning together, this experience of learning together has been so much fun.
Yes, no, seriously. That has been the best part for me as well. Because, you want to broaden your horizons, as they like to say, and be a little different and be more cultured in things.
Yeah.
And so it has been fun just learning about the different wines, where they come from, how they taste, like really experiencing it, and the different cheeses.
Right. We talked about healthy leisure, right? When we talked about like having
Yes.
healthy leisure, I think this, like, even finding the interest in the wine and like doing the research and stuff like that is something that someone can take on and like
absolutely
take really honestly like
I
personalize.
actually enjoyed that part.
Yeah.
Like doing the research behind it all, putting it together, learning and understanding more about like charcuterie boards and what cheese go with what type of wines and what nuts go pause what type of wines and all that other stuff, fruits and all that stuff. So like it was like super dope. It was a super dope experience.
And you probably have more respect for the wine and the process of like wine making and everything.
Yes.
Just like based off all the research and everything that takes putting into it.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So no, it's been fun. It's been a fun experience.
It's been fun. And it's your fun letting them people know who you are.
I know, right? I let y'all in a little bit. Don't think I'm crazy. I'm just a little bit. 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 Okay. But there's more to come with that. There's more to come. I know, right? I'm nervous.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Me neither.
I'm ready, but I don't know if the people is ready.
I don't know. That's why I said, this whole balancing act of letting people know like how much to let people in.
Yeah.
The whole social media thing and us having these conversations and being open. It's just like how much of that we dig in. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I think it's been a good conversation, a good healthy conversation, so that people can reflect on themselves and like how they're showing up in the world.
Speaking of balance and how much letting people in, what do you feel like is like too much and then just enough?
That's why it's boundaries. I actually made a post a while ago about just boundaries with social media on like you have to know yourself. I don't think I know there's conversation about oversharing, undersharing, but I think it's a personal boundary conversation, not a general conversation. Like you have to know where you're comfortable at and you have to actually honestly do that homework on how comfortable you are, because you might feel like you are and then something, because we human, something gonna trigger you and you gonna, I wasn't ready for that comment, I wasn't ready for that feedback. So I think like really honestly doing a self-assessment on where you're at in your own healing journey, your own triggers before you start posting on social media, because that's the difference to me. Some people can sit there and people got their whole marriages and stuff on display and they can do that and they can take the bites and the bullets and they write books and they're successful and they're great, like, and it works for them. But they've gone through that process where they can take that together, and not everybody, and people want to aspire and do stuff like that without doing the work. And it's like, no, if you haven't done the work, then that's where I think the boundary is knowing what your own personal boundary is.
And what you're just willing to share, and because also when you gotta be. I was just about to say that, because when you sharing stuff with people, you have to be like comfortable with sharing, because just because you share it with one person, it doesn't mean you don't know if they're gonna share it with somebody else. If we being honest, right?
That part.
I am of the assumption that if I share something with one person, I can guarantee that it's going to get shared with somebody else, whether it's intentional or not, right? People just talk. That's human nature, right? They just talk and be like, girl, so-and-so, or somebody could be talking about something and then they're like, oh, y'all had a friend that did that same thing, and this is how that outcome was, and it was like, dang, I didn't want you to be telling people that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like being comfortable, and I tell some of that to my clients as well, right? Like, when they're trying to like learn how to build deeper connection with others, I tell them start with something that you don't care if it gets out.
If anybody knows about.
Right. Because if it gets out, you could be like, yep, that happened, or yep, I said that, or yep, that's me, whatever the case may be. And like, you own that power. Nobody can use it against you. Nobody can weaponize it, right?
Exactly.
And so I feel like, as you learn to like open up more, you got to be comfortable with that. Like, okay, I'm opening up, or I'm sharing this because I own this.
And that's been my approach to things about like what I share. Like, to be honest about the whole vulnerability aspect of it is like, this is my life. I've lived through it. There's nothing you can honestly tell me that I don't already know or probably haven't thought of about myself, because we are our own biggest critics. So like, by the time you didn't call me that name, I didn't probably said it twice. So like,
or probably said worse.
I didn't probably said worse. So for me, it's like, okay, if something came up, like, you got to take either one, accountability, or two, grace of, like, you're human. Mm-hmm. They might not see it, or they might have opinions about it, but you know yourself as being human. So yeah, whatever comes with that, you know, at that time you were doing the best that you could. Whether you said something wrong, because that's a big thing too, right? Like, you say something, you get canceled, you get banned, you get blocked, you get this. Yeah. You might not always say things correctly, politically correct. You might not always say it the right way. But where was your intentions and where was your heart at the time when you were trying to deliver the message, and what was the intention behind the message? So for me, like, I know at the end of the day, I don't have to say I'm a good person, but I know I'm a good person, and, like, my intentions aren't bad or malicious. So my experience is my experience. I can't take it away. Yeah. And you commenting on it ain't gonna change my experience.
That part.
Okay.
That part, yeah. Understanding one's intentions is very important too. Like, even in just, like, I know earlier in the season we talked about, like, friendships and navigating that after 30 and what that looks like, etc. And it's like, do you understand your friends' intentions, right? Or your loved one's intentions? Yeah. Like, maybe they said something that came off a little rough, but knowing their character, right? Because that's a whole nother thing.
Knowing their character,
were they trying to attack you or not, right? Can you sit here and say, like, you know what? I know that person's character. I can 9 times out of 10 confirm that this is not what they meant. Right. Right. And let's piggyback on their friendship topic real quick, right? Because I'm gonna pivot really quick. Yeah. Speaking of friends. At what point, or because this came up. This was something that came up that I noticed, or in the conversation. Deal breakers in friendship, right? Yeah. If in the group of friends, your name is mentioned and it's not mentioned in a good light, but you have one good friend in that group. Yeah. If they don't, like, stand up or shut that conversation down or speak up on your behalf, and you find out about the conversation that took place that was kind of negative. Would you be ready to cut that friend off? How would you feel?
It depends on what was the topic of the conversation. Like, how egregious was it? Like, was it completely defamation, like, hard to recover from, and you just sat back there and just watch me get destroyed? Right. And then, 2, is this the second time, first time? Like, how many times has this happened? And, like, you know, you've been around these people and they've had these conversations about me and you've said nothing each and every time. Now, it ain't even about, like, loyalty is one thing, but it's like, do you see me in that way?
Right.
Do you feel comfortable? Feel the same way? Do you feel comfortable with this conversation? Because for me, like, I would feel uncomfortable even witnessing that and then not say something. Either one, say something to you as my friend, like, hey, this is how people view you or see you. And if I felt any type of way about it, being able to have that conversation, like, hey, you need to tighten up because, you know, X, Y, and Z. Or, hey, people talking, you might want to change your circle around. Right. A conversation should be had. Okay. But if no conversation and I find out, like, all that's going on and you just kind of sit back and watch, now I got to look at you like.
Yeah, because I'm already going to look at them sideways.
I don't even care, like, non-factor. Okay, boom, done. But what's going on? Are you feeling comfortable with that? Or do you agree? Like, what's the situation that you didn't bring it to my attention, or even say to them, like, hey, that's not even cool. They not here to defend themselves, or that's not even, like, I know them. That's not their character, and I think that's a poor representation. Yeah.
That's the same thing I said. I was like, you know, when that topic was raised in a previous conversation, I said the same thing. I was like, you know what? If it's, like you said, if it's the first time and it wasn't, like, too bad of a conversation, like, it's bad regardless because I'm not there and they're talking crap, right? But, and not necessarily me personally, but if this is the first time and you went to that person and told them, like, hey, this is what was said, just so you know, okay, I could see giving that person a pass, but just letting them know, like, hey, the next time my name is being brought up as a friend, I need you to shut it down. Just say, you know, or get me on the phone.
Change the topic. Something.
Right?
Do something.
If they don't keep.
Do something.
Because at the end of the day, people are grown. They're going to do whatever they want to do, right? So if they decide they're going to keep talking about it as a friend, get that friend on the phone, like, hey, y'all want to talk about her? Get on the phone. Here she go. Include her in the conversation. Or him. Right. Right? Because it can happen to guys too. Right? So include that person on a conversation. But that was just a really interesting dynamic. Because, you know, people do struggle with that. Like,
nobody wants to deal with conflict. Yeah. And it's like, well, if they talk about her, what they going to say about me? Or, like, are they going to start heating me? Are they going to get, am I in the middle of it now? And now I'm fighting and tussling? Like, conflict don't always got to rise to the occasion. It's pretty much like being very direct. hey, this ain't the conversation that I want to be a part of. Can we change the conversation?
Exactly. And then it makes you think, like, even as we're talking about it, it makes you also think, like, how many other times have y'all been talking about that person behind their back that y'all comfortable talking about them in front of their friend? Like, you know that person is friends with the person y'all talking about. Like, y'all real comfortable here. What's really going on behind the scenes? But then when y'all all are in group settings,
right,
it's all, hey, girl, hey, or hey, what's up, bro, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it's like...
And it's different, like venting, right? Like, if you're venting, I get having those moments. But, like, again... if that's your friend, the language that you're using about your friend, for one, and two, have you taken it to your friend?
That part.
Because here's, like, don't vent about me if you ain't brought it to me.
Right.
Like, and if you need somebody as a soundboard, because I don't own you, if you need somebody as a soundboard and you bring it back, hey, I've talked to so-and-so because this was on my mind and, like, it was bothering me. I just want you to know you did X, Y, and Z and I didn't like that. Right. Like, okay, I know, okay, you had a conversation. You got feedback so that you can bring this conversation to me. Right. That's different than, okay, y'all gossiping. Exactly.
Because if you never bring it back to me, how do I know that I did something wrong?
Exactly.
Or I offended you. Or I hurt your feelings. Or you feel away. Whatever the case may be. And I always tell people that all the time, like, nobody knows they did something unless you tell them. Bring it to them. Like, because people could legit just be going through their everyday life. Nothing's wrong. Just being their normal selves. And one day they do something that offends you or whatever the case may be. And you just you internalizing it and building up grudges and all that other stuff, and it's like
they don't even know what's going on. They don't even know what's going on.
Like, what's happening here?
Right.
What's happening here? Like, I used to have I still do, a 72-hour rule that if any of my friends had a problem, I did something to them, you got 72 hours to bring it to me, bro. After 72 hours, that's a you problem and it's no longer a me problem.
I like that.
Because if you holding on a month later and now you bringing it up and you did this and you did that. Yeah. How the hell am I supposed to know? And now you mad at me because I didn't correct behavior that I didn't know that was a problem. Yeah. 72 hours.
I'll tell you, I'm a ghost person. As far as, like, if I brought it to you as an issue a couple times and I've expressed that something is important to me and I see the behavior, I won't even speak on it anymore. I just distance myself.
If you see the behavior hasn't changed.
If it hasn't changed, if I brought it to you and I'm like, okay, it's a me problem now, right? So it's like I just gotta adapt how I work with you.
Because they don't care no more.
Because like I didn't say it, that's not how I move. I don't like that. So I ain't gonna say it again.
Big facts. Big facts. No, seriously. Because you did your part. You let it be known. If that friend, family member, whoever, because this applies to family too. Yes. Right? Right. If they decided, I ain't finna change, or I'm not making an adjustment, or I'm not taking it into consideration. Yep. You gotta decide, okay, what we doing at this point?
I can only do what I can do with that information.
And baby, that's goodbye. You know, you gotta, at the end of the day, you always gotta do what's best for you. Especially because we are entering into this season of changes and, like we said in the last episode, season of depression, all that stuff, because
boundaries,
all that stuff is happening. You gotta always, at the end of the day, do what's best for you. Because guess what? If anybody else gonna do it, period. Because I gotta put me first, Lucius. I'm always put me first. The hell, ain't that's what Taraji said on Empire? Right. I'm gonna always put me
Honestly,
first.
That's the best way to love anybody, is put yourself first.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because even with putting yourself first, you also get to recognize, show up. You also get to recognize what's really a you issue versus a them issue. You can recognize your triggers. Right? You can be more self-aware of how you are, and if this person's natural actions are affecting you, it could just simply be a you thing, because they're probably not doing anything wrong.
And it's not always a right or wrong thing. You just misaligned.
Exactly.
Like it ain't always a bad. You're not a bad person. It's just not aligned in the same way. So it ain't got to be that either.
Exactly. And I think that's the other thing that, like, get people lost in the sauce, right? Because they feel like they have to align. Everybody, you don't have to align with everybody forever. You may have aligned for the first 5 years, but now life
evolved.
changes.
You didn't grow, they didn't grow, and went different
life
directions.
Life is lifing.
Yes.
You now on path A and they on path C. Ain't no way y'all meeting in the middle to get to path B.
No.
Let it go.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. There don't have to be no hard feelings.
Yeah, it could be like, I love you, but I realize.
And I'm still going to root for you.
Yeah, I'm still root from you from afar. Yeah. I hope you win, right? Yeah. But We just don't have to be in close proximity anymore because
Right.
it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
We
It
want
doesn't
different
work.
things in life.
Exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
okay.
And that is
It's
okay.
okay.
Starting over is okay. We talked about that. Your
We
30s,
did.
pivoting.
Yep, pivoting.
Changes. I know,
Yep.
you know, and around our age group, life is changing. Like you said, evolving. So being able to embrace change and pivot.
Yeah. And embrace it. Embrace
It's going
it.
to keep changing.
It is.
It is. It's
And
going
it
to be
is.
entertaining, I feel like.
Oh, no.
40's going to be wild.
Ooh, child, you going too far. That's about a million years from now, girl. She's talking about 40.
I got a few. I only got like FOMO.
I'm young.
I'm young
I ain't
spirited.
never.
I'm
No,
young
I'm just
spirited.
playing.
I'm young spirited.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So young spirited.
Fair enough. But any final tidbits you want to give to our listeners? We appreciate y'all,
Thank y'all
for rocking with us,
watching,
this
viewing,
entire
listening.
season.
Yes, thank you for having me and welcoming me to the team. And I hope everybody enjoyed. I hope they got something beneficial out of it. I hope you learned something, whether about this wine, about your mental health, about your family, about your friends. I hope everybody walked away with
About
something.
making charcuteries.
I know, right? Right? Are you not entertained?
Oh, man.
Sorry,
Hilarious. No, I love it. Hilarious. 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 But y'all know, as always, follow us on all social media platforms at Wine Me Please Podcast. Spread the word. We will be back in the new year for season 5. And y'all know what time it is. We not just a podcast for tea. So Wine Me Please. And don't forget, if you want our advice, send us an email to advice@winemepleasepodcast.com.